everybody. Oh, yay! Some of my favorites are here. Yay! Hi, guys. Hi, Missy. So yeah, we're gonna do this cute travel boxy bag today. Oh, good morning. So today, right now, it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. So good afternoon from upstate New York here. So yeah, again, I thought I would do a different time today just to see if it worked out better for some people. So again, I'm gonna do some different things today. I just love how this little handle looks. So we're gonna do that a little differently today. We're gonna do a zipper, obviously. Some quilting. Unfortunately, I didn't get my second bag quilted yet, so I will be doing that. So I'll show you how I do my quilting. But yeah, so I'm excited everybody is here. We're gonna wait a little bit and see who else is gonna join us today. So, but yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good weekend. I don't know if anybody saw, but my younger daughter graduated from college on Friday, so very excited. So we got to go see her, but yeah, gonna be doing some sewing today, and again, get together with all my sewing friends and family here. So I would love to hear what sewing projects everybody is working on. Again, I am just going to be working on this boxy bag today. So I think I am going to add a little bit of a tab on the end here, because I just feel like it needs something. Oh, thank you. Thanks for all the likes, guys. But yeah, so again, I just think this is a great gift idea. Yes, here too. It is 1 o'clock here. We are in the Eastern time zone together. So yeah, great gift idea. Father's Day is coming up. Again, you could find a nice fabric, for that father in your life. Great idea to give to anybody, really. Again, I am doing a waterproof lining, so I am using that vinyl fuse, it's called, for the inside of it. But this is a project that you don't have to use that for. So you can, just do a regular lining fabric. Again, I'm using all Quilter's cotton fabrics. Oh, I didn't trim off a string here. I gotta do that while I'm thinking of it. Oh, thanks for the follows. So yeah, it's again a great gift idea. And again, even if somebody already has a travel bag, who cares? Who doesn't need more than one, right? So again, great gift idea. Plus, again, it gives you that satisfaction knowing that you created something to give to somebody that you love. So, oh good. Lisa's here. So yeah, we are going to get started. I don't know if all of you got to see the materials list video that I already posted. So there is another video that's out there that has all the materials. But long story short, so I've got 2 pieces of my exterior fabric. They are 15 by 10. And again, this is going to give you this size, which I think is a good size. Again, fits. Hi, Julie. Fits a lot of whether it's pill bottles, whether it's cosmetics, whatever. But again, it is a very good size travel bag. So 15 by 10, you need 2 pieces of your exterior fabric. And again, I still have to do my quilting on this, so you guys have time for all of this. I am using my flex foam, the one-sided fusible. That I already did. I did fuse that. I ironed it onto the wrong side of my exterior fabric. So again, we have 2 pieces of that. For the lining, I am using, again, that vinyl fuse. So I just want it, oh, hi B. I want it to be waterproof. So that's why I'm using that vinyl fuse. And again, for those of you that missed the last one, it is made by Pellon. And it's literally just a clear vinyl that it has glue on one side. So you iron it onto the right side of your lining fabric. But again, you don't have to use the vinyl fuse. You can just use your regular pieces. I cut mine to the same size, even though I'm going to have to trim them after I do my quilting. So 15 by 10 for all of that. And then we are gonna put this, and again, I just love this little handle. So we're gonna make this handle. So for that, again, what I am doing is I had actually, in one of my last trips to Joann's, I bought some twill tape. It was actually 2 inches wide, so I just cut it lengthwise. So mine is now 1 inch wide by 7 inches long. So that's a piece of twill tape, cotton. And then I have a piece of my Pellon 809. Hi, you're live. I know. Oh, I'm glad you made it, Kat. And again, that's why I did a 1 o'clock today, because I'm like, I don't know if that would work better for people. So I'm glad you're here. We're going to make this boxy bag. So yeah, you made it for a good one. It's going to be a fun project. I'm glad you're here. So again, Pellon 809. I cut this to 7/8 of an inch wide by 7 inches long, because this is going to go on the back of my twill tape. Okay, so again, I wanted it slightly thinner than my twill tape. So that's why I did 7/8 of an inch. Am I late? Nope. We're just going over materials. So you're just in time. Literally started at 1 o'clock. And then also for that handle, we're gonna use, and for this, for my handle, I believe I cut it to 5.5. I'm just double checking because I don't want to tell you wrong. 5.5 inches wide by 7 inches long. Okay. I know, yay. And then for your fusible fleece, and again, you don't have to use all of these interfacings, guys. I'm using it because it does give it more structure, more heft, more weight. But again, if you did it without, it's not the end of the world. You're going to have multiple layers of things on here, so it will be a nice solid handle. So again, for your first one practicing, just do even, I don't have a piece here, but you know, you can take your, if you wanted 1 inch wide, cut it 7 inches by 4 inches of your fabric. So again, imagine this is a little bit wider, and then do the hot dog. You know, just fold it in half, iron it, and then fold it in half again, iron it, and then fold it in half and iron it. So again, whatever width you want your handle to be, just multiply that by 4. Yep, absolutely, no worries. So again, let me grab another piece of fabric and show you just what I'm talking about for that. So again, you want it to be still 7 inches long. So that's the thing with that. So I'm just going to cut a quick piece of fabric. So 7 inches long. And again, I'm just going to say we'll go like 1 inch wide for that handle. Okay, so I've cut this 7 inches long, but now I got to cut it to 4 inches in width, because again, that'll make a 1 inch wide handle, which I think will be fine for the purpose of what we're doing today. Well, I guess I'll just use this. I need to get a rotary cutter. All right. So again, that's the beauty of making all these bags. You can make them to your preference and how you like them. And again, for the sake of practice today, making it just out of the cotton fabric is absolutely fine. So, oh, thank you. Is that a cat? No, that's a cat. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, how fun. You never know what you're going to see on these lives. And yes, Midwest Thread Therapy. I love watching all your videos too. You've been making some pretty awesome bags. I love, love, love to see all of that. Okay, so again, now we've got it 4 inches wide, 7 inches long. Have to keep it interesting. Love that. Okay, so to do that, let me just turn my camera down so you can see down here. So again, just prepping to make our handle. I will show you the 2 different ways that you can do it. So again, if you're just using a piece of cotton fabric, that's fine. If you happen to have any interfacing, you know, whether it's the Pellon 809, not sewing with you. Oh, but thank you. Appreciate that. So if you have any interfacing like the 809 or a fusible fleece, definitely use that on this piece, okay? But if you don't, that's okay too. You're just going to fold it in half the long way, all right? And then take your little iron and just press it so that you get that crease. Then we're going to open it up. And now you've got that crease down the middle, and we're just going to fold it in on the crease. It's kind of like making our wristlet keychains, right? This is what we do for that. I'm going to give that a quick press, and then we're going to fold in the other side. We're going to give that a quick press, and then we're just going to fold it in half and then press it. Now you can clip it to keep it shut. You don't have to. It will stay pretty closed on its own, but you're just going to end up doing a top stitch down both sides. And because it is going to be on the end of our bag like this, I would also do at least one stitch down the middle. All right. Now again, for that, you're going to do your top stitch. So that longer length of your stitch length. So again, I do 4.0 now. So do a 4.0 length stitch on the edge at about an eighth of an inch, and then down the center. Okay. If you're going to do it the way that I did it, so that it looks like this, okay, which again, this is a hefty strap. It is nice and sturdy, nice and stiff, nice and stable. Again, I am using some cotton twill tape. So that's what this is. Oh, let me get some light on here. There we go. All right. So I've cut that to 1 inch in width and 7 inches long. Okay. I also have my Pellon 809. So that's the one that has the glue on the one side. So I cut that to 7/8 of an inch because I wanted it just slightly smaller than the width of my twill tape. So that's why I cut it to 7/8 of an inch. And then I'm just going to iron that on to the back of the twill tape. Now, when I do just on regular cotton, I do not go right over the interfacing because it tends to get, here's my favorite word, wonky. But I found earlier, if I tried to do it from the right side, it just didn't want to adhere as well. So that's why I did go over it with directly with my iron. So you just want to get that really fastened in place. Okay, so then we've got that. That's going to give that some stiffness. Oh, I love that for the handles. I'm going to have to try that. Yes, I know. It gives it some heft. Oh, I love that for the handles. I'm going to have to try that. Yes, I know. It gives it some heft. So then with the piece of cotton, again, especially for this type of a bag, I feel like it does need that extra stiffness. So for this, again, 5.5 inches wide, 7 inches long, I cut this piece of fusible fleece to 2 3/4 inches wide by 7 inches long. And so I'm going to just center that on that small piece. And again, this is all just to prep our handle. We're going to glue that on. So we're going to activate that glue with our, we're going to glue that on. So we're going to activate that glue with our iron just to get that real nice and in place. Okay. We're going to then fold it in half, press that so we know where that center line is, open it back up, and then we're going to fold in on itself. And we do want this a little bit wider than what our twill tape is. So that's why, again, we cut it so that the measurements work out perfectly. Okay, just going to iron that. Now, because this is what I'm going to use, I am going to take this to my machine. We're going to sew this in place. So let me get this off of my technology. Good afternoon, D-Boss. Just scrolling back. Does my mini iron get as hot like a big one? Yes, it does. This thing, I tell you, is amazing. It has the 3 different levels, so low, medium, and high. And it does have an automatic shut off, which I need. Because, yeah, you know, we tend to get busy and you forget, right? So, but love my little mini press. Let's see, the fabric measurement for the handle. So I am using the 7 inches long and 5.5 inches wide for the piece of cotton. And then I'm using an inch wide and 7-inch long piece of cotton twill tape. Oh, and, so D-Boss, what are we making? We are making a Boxy bag with a really cool looking handle. So, yeah, fun. And Tara's here. Hey, Tara. Okay, so let me flip you around because we got to do some sewing. All right, so we're going to top stitch right down the open edge of our cotton piece that has the fusible fleece in it. So again, we're going to use about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, now I don't know about you guys, but using this foot pedal barefoot, so much better than with a shoe or a slipper. Just saying, keeping it real. So again, we're going to do 1/8 of an inch. And then we're going to do 1/8 of an inch on the other side as well. And again, this is a top stitch length. Okay. So now, what you'll see, what I did on this one, I think you can see, I ended up doing what I wanted to look more like a satin stitch. So I did it as a zigzag, okay? So my readings, I guess, I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. So bear with me. At least I thought I did. Oh, there it is. Length of 0.7 and a width of 3.6. So again, zigzag stitch on your machine. So my stitch width is 3.6, but my length I'm going to shorten to a 0.7. All right. So that's going to give the stitch that looks like this. Okay. If I flip it over, you can kind of see how it looks almost like a satin stitch. And again, you want to use some kind of a zigzag because when you're attaching your twill tape right onto here, I'm going to center it and then we're going to clip it. Because just doing a straight stitch, I didn't feel was going to be secure enough. So definitely want to do a zigzag type of a stitch. So to do the zigzag, you just need to keep the edge of what you're stitching down in the center of your presser foot. Okay, so again, just kind of making sure that it's staying centered. And then we go to town. And you can adjust your zigzag width or length to whatever look you want it to have. Again, this is just what I felt was going to work well. So there you go. There's the one side. And then we're just going to repeat on the other side. So again, this is just to get the handle ready. But again, these are those extra steps that will just kind of level up your bag. Okay. I'm going to trim up these ends here. All right. Here, why don't I use the biggest scissors I own to do my trimming? What a great idea. That's what you do when you have the ones that are closest to you. So again, that's what you end up with. Oh, thank you for the heart and joining my team. All right, so there you go. So now that handle is ready. Okay. You're also going to need a zipper, 14 inches long. Okay. I use zipper by the yard, so zipper tape. So that's what I've got, which is nice. You can cut it to whatever length you need. And, oh, for the tab, because again, I did not put the tab on my materials list in the previous video from earlier today, but I just feel like, again, this just needs a tab right here. I don't know, just to be able to hold on to when you're zipping it back up. So that's what we're going to add. So for the measurements on that, again, I want it 1 inch wide. So for a tab like this, you want it 4 inches wide. Okay. And I don't know, probably 3 inches long is fine. And again, you're just going to do the same technique as we did with this. So again, that 4-inch width is from here to here. And you're just going to fold it in half and iron it. And then you're going to fold it in half, iron, and then flip it over, iron. And then you're just going to do your top stitching. I did 4 stitches on mine. I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to do 4. So that's what I did. Okay, let's see if I've missed anything. Oh, thank you. Is it okay to do a video on the handle and tag you in it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so barefoot as well. Love that. Did you see the video of the dress I made? Oh, D-Boss, I don't think I did. I don't think I did. I'll have to go back and look. Yes, thank you for answering. I appreciate that. And yeah, the decorative stitches, absolutely. Just that little extra, it just adds a little pizzazz, right? Thanks for the follows, guys. Appreciate that. Okay, so now, for the bag that I previously made earlier today, I just did some vertical, just because I thought with the vertical lines of this fabric, I just felt like the vertical quilting was going to look the best. So that's what I ended up doing. But as you guys know, branding, so important to me, right? So I've got to do that first. I got to get my branding tag on there. So let me find my branding tags as I'm barefoot, 1 foot. So I'm just going to grab my tags. I'm going to grab 2, 1 for each side. Again, that's just my preference of what I'm going to do. And then to make it easy to know where the center is, I will grab one of my quilting rulers. So I know that my pieces are 15 wide by 10 high. All right. So what I'm going to do to know exactly where to put my tag, and so it's going to be the same on both sides, I'm going to go find the center point of this. Okay. So I know it's 7.5 inches from the edge. All right. This is where math comes into play. Math is our friend. So 7.5 inches this way and 5 inches up this way. All right. So I know that's where the center of my tag needs to be. All right. So if I come up, give you the bird's eye view, that's where I'm going to end up putting it. So I just take that out, leave that in place, and then I'm just going to iron that down, and then I will end up sewing it in place. Okay, but that at least holds it in place for me. So that's the first side. Now the second side. Now keep in mind too, guys, if you have a directional fabric, mine is not. Mine is literally just stripes. You want to pay attention to what direction your fabric is going to know exactly where to put your tag if you're putting a tag on there. So again, I am lining up 7.5 inches here, 5 inches from the bottom. That's where I know will be the center. And then I center my tag right on there. slide that out, and then press in place. Okay. And everybody always asks at this point, where do I get my tags? I do make them. I can't see my comments right now with it being on my neck mount, but usually there is a comment or a question about that. So, yeah, I do make them on I use Cricut Design Space and cut them out with my Cricut, and I print it onto, with my inkjet printer, printable cotton fabric. In my Amazon storefront, you will actually see what I've been using. In fact, I had to change it up a little bit because they were out of stock of the actual ones that I use sometimes. I don't know if it's my community here of my sewing friends that are buying them out. I don't know, but there are others that are out there. It doesn't have to be the June Taylor brand that I use. All right. So again, I just sew it in place. Where are there's my pointy scissors. And then we're gonna just singe my polyester rayon, whatever threads. Actually, they're poly. So that they don't fray. Okay. So then that's what you get. So we'll do the same for the other one. And there are two different types that I use for my tags. This one is the fusible, the iron-on style, but I also do a sew-in style. So it just depends on the product that I'm making. Or I guess how you want it to look. That's the other thing. You know, do you want your tag sticking out somewhere? Or do you want it just ironed right on? Okay. So that's the tag. Again, just going to hit it with a little bit of the heat. Because again, what I found is if you don't do that, those end threads can sometimes come undone. So yeah, I don't know, if you're using that, polyester thread, it's good to hit it with the heat. Okay, so now I'm going to do some quilting. And what I'm going to do, again, on this one, like I did for this Boxy bag, the first stitching line that I did for my quilting, because again, I'm doing vertical lines, I wanted it to look right in the center of where my tag is. So I just kind of found where that was, and then I went from there, basically 1.5 stripes. So on this fabric, it's nice because it's got the lines already in there. But if you don't have that, you can always use a quilting guide that just attaches onto your machine. It just goes into that black spot right there, slides right in, and then you can make it however you want. So it works for straight line stitching, obviously. So, you know, definitely use it if you have it. So what I'm doing, because I don't want to go right over my branding tag, I'm just going to go right to it, back stitch, cut the thread, and then start again. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, because I want both sides to be done the same, I'm going to bring this one over and then do the same thing. We're just going to chain stitch for chain stitch quilting, I guess. Kind of cut time in half, I guess. All right, so let me look and see. do I ever quilt before adding the label? I have in the past, and I didn't like how it looked, because then you end up with that ridge underneath the label, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't look right to me, because again, if I'm looking at this, I like the look of how it's just kind of puffy, and if you do the quilting line underneath, you're going to have that ridge underneath. And actually for this one, I'm going to end up having another quilting line here and over here, and it just isn't going to look right. Yeah, so again, that was just experience. So keep the chat chatting, everyone. Oh, yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, a 1906 Singer sewing machine. That is amazing. And yes, I do tag both sides. Math is our friend when sewing, and that's it. Amen to that. I do the same, yes. One shoe on, one shoe off. Oh, there's my slipper. The YouTube video I don't have for this one yet. There is one on my YouTube channel, but it's done a little bit differently than how we're going to do it today. So, again, I think this way that we're doing it today is actually going to be a little bit easier. So I guess keep that in mind. We'll see if I do end up putting this one up or not. I know my last live, people did ask for it to go up on the YouTube channel, so I did post it. The only downside is, obviously, it's like an hour and a half or too long, because, again, this one is going to take a hot second to make. Oh, I went too far on that stitch, but that's okay. So, yeah, this one is going to take a hot second, but, again, it might be worth posting, because then you can just fast forward through it, right? So I have been trying to post more and more tutorials, but as you guys may or may not know, doing that takes a lot of time. It is very time consuming to post videos, because you can't just make a video. You've got to edit it, and at least for me, I've got to make it look nice, and yeah, it's not as simple as just recording and then posting. So it does take some time, and I do have a full-time job, not just doing this. So yeah, I am just doing my quilting right now using a 4.0 top stitch length. So again, the purpose of the top stitch is more decorative. And again, it's just a longer length of stitch, and it just looks nice. So I'm gonna get that one again. I didn't get it all the way, apparently. So yeah, the quilting is going to take a hot second to do, but definitely is worth it, because it does give that finished look. I mean, I don't know if you've ever purchased a, like a Vera Bradley bag, or, any kind of sewn bag. There's always some beautiful quilting done, and that's the difference. That's what makes it leveled up, right? And again, my feeling is, if you're taking the time to make something, do it to the best of your ability. Especially if you're putting your name on it, right? I talk about that a lot. Take pride in your work, because you want people to look at your work, admire it, and, essentially word of mouth, tell their friends. Where did you get this from? Oh yeah, my tag is on there. It's Crafting Therapy Shop. Again, you want people to spread the word. I do have my website. I do have all of my other social channels. Obviously, people that are here today are more into sewing, I would imagine, right? Wanting to learn how to make things for themselves. But maybe you're just, like me, and you just, find it relaxing to watch people sew. At least I do. I don't know, maybe I'm a weirdo, but yeah, I mean, like I said, obviously, I want people to look at my work and admire it and be like, wow, she does really nice work. She takes care. She, takes the extra time to, look at those fine details. Because again, I know me as a consumer, that's what I look at. That's what I think about. I'm always willing to pay a little bit more for something that I know has been really meticulously created. And I feel like that's what I do. My tagline is handcrafted items to bring joy to your life, because that's what I'm trying to do in this world. Our world is crazy as it is, and I don't know, it's just, if you can do a little part to make people happy, and if it's just with, teaching people how to sew or creating an item that will bring somebody joy, hey, then I'm doing my part. Doing my part in this world. What I probably should do is, I've got my iPad right there. I probably should turn that on, and then I'd be able to read comments as I'm doing this. That would be the smart thing to do. So I guess tell me in the comments, and tell everybody else in the comments, how experienced are you at making bags? This bag, I am calling it a beginner-friendly project. There are many techniques in making this bag that some people might not consider beginner-friendly, but I feel like those, especially that have followed me and joined my lives, we're using techniques that we've been all working on together. So yeah, definitely, if you consider yourself a brand new sewist, you might find that some of these techniques are going to be challenging. Challenging is a good word. But again, the idea of me doing all of these lives is to help people build their confidence and have that interactive, ask questions. We've got this wonderful sewing community, so it's not just me that's trying to provide you with some guidance and answers in how to sew, things like that, but you've got this whole group of people here that also are wonderful sewists. So after I get past this label, then I will get my iPad turned on so I can look back at the comments. So sorry, guys. But again, those that have been here know that I will get back to comments. I was really hoping to get this part done before the live, but then I thought, you know what? Maybe some people are going to be quilting along with me, so that's why I was like, you know what? I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Okay. So let's get my live on here. Pulling up all of my videos here. Not meaning to do that. Sorry, guys. Gotta switch it to my other one. And then let's go find my crafting therapy. And there we go. All right. Okay, so let me scroll back. All right, keep chatting. Blah, blah, blah. If you put this video up, I will make this. Okay, Missy, you got it. It does beat editing. That's true. Someone wanted to buy my acrylic cozy darts, but wanted instructions. Oh, that's awesome. D-Boss sent me a message. I will look at that when I'm done. Quilting basically doubles the time. Exactly, it does. But boy, does it make a big difference. So Nora, the padding I'm using is a flex foam. It is a single-sided fusible flex foam. Absolutely. You want your work that goes out to be a representative of your best. Indeed. Oh, I love all your sewing stuff. Thank you. What are you making? So we are making a boxy bag with a really cool looking handle, hefty handle. And this one has that waterproof lining. So that's what we're doing today. I couldn't agree more. There you go. All the things you've trialed and errored, you are passing along without the error. That's very true. You got it. And Tara's working on some bags, still perfecting. Shelly's a beginner. That's good. Easier to learn by watching. Indeed. Never made a bag, but enjoy watching you make bags. Absolutely. So yeah, sorry guys, I had to scroll back quite a bit. Bags are my jam after quilting. There you go, right? Gabby, you got it. Oh, yay. Instead of makeup, I'm going to use it for your little watercolor. Oh, great idea. So yeah, Gabby bought one of the ones that we made live the other night. So that is awesome. I'm so glad you love it. And Missy is 70 in the 9th grade, had to make a lined coat. No kidding. How fun is that? Yes, just turned off the volume. Thank you. I know that was annoying, wasn't it? And where do I like to buy the flex foam? So Lori, I used to get it through Joann's. And then I ended up ordering, that is a roll of the one-sided fusible flex foam. I got that through Walmart. So yeah, it's 60 inches wide. So tutorials, Yvette, I have on my YouTube channel, there are many. I know, holy flex foam, isn't it? I have several of the tutorials on there. And if you just go into my profile, click on the link tree, that'll get you to all of my socials, including my YouTube channel. So you'll also find, I have linked in there my Amazon storefront of a lot of the things that I use. So you can find a lot of it there too. So a lot of the things I use, that is there. And again, this one I probably will put up on YouTube as well, but people will just have to, again, fast forward through all of the fluff, I call it. Because yeah, I know not everybody is sitting home on a Sunday and, wanting to sew along with me, and I get that. So yeah, definitely that will be an option later. So again, it does take a hot second for me to get it posted, but it will be there. And I try to post a video on here when I do get that posted so that you'll know you can head over. Just be sure to like and subscribe. I'm starting to get all the lingo, even though, 51 years old, trying to do this social media thing when my extent of social media used to be just Facebook. And now I pretty much do all of them. Although I don't do Snapchat for my crafting therapy shop. I do it for my personal life though. All right, yes, flex foam for the exterior. So again, 15 by 10 panels is what we started with. So that's what I cut my flex foam to as well and ironed that on. And now I'm just quilting that after I put my branding label on. I just like the structure that the flex foam gives my bags. Maybe not everyone, but yes, over 100. Yes, that's awesome. And again, I don't know, sewing to me has been such it's an escape. And I love creating. I just love making, I find a beautiful piece of fabric and turn it into just something beautiful, right? This is the outer layer, no worries, of this boxy bag. That's what we're making. So yeah. So right now we're literally just quilting this outer piece. So now I'm glad you're all here. Thanks for joining me. I know the weather has been crazy out in the Midwest especially. I hope that everyone stayed safe from all of that. I know we had a wicked storm that came through yesterday here in upstate New York, and I'm sure that was the same one that, oh yeah, that came through, that was the same storm that went through the Midwest. And Tara, I see you got the Pellon 102. Awesome. I think I need to go find some more of it, actually. It is so sad how it is nearing the end, right, of JoJo's. It's the end of an era. I ended up going, here in New York, they're doing the New York State shop hop of the quilting shops. So yesterday and over the weekend, I went to 2. And I don't know, there's something very different in a good way. Oh, yay! It was pretty nasty in Wisconsin. Oh, so cold and gloomy in Minnesota. Oh. So yeah, I am just west of Syracuse. So JoJo, I don't know where you are. But yeah, we had those really bad storms that came through. We didn't lose, well, we had a brownout, but we lost through. We didn't lose, well, we had a brownout, but we lost internet, of all things, for, I don't know, like 4 hours. Coming out in June for Blues Fest. You are? Oh my gosh. We need to meet up. I would love to meet a fellow TikTok friend in person. That would be fun. I don't think I've ever gone to Blues Fest, come to think of it. How fun. Oh, you're up in Watertown. Okay. So, yeah, I saw in the shop hop there is a quilt shop up there. I don't know that I'll get up there, but yeah, for folks who don't know, I used to live in Syracuse. Yes. Yeah, you'll have to send me a message. Because I would love to meet up, even if just for like coffee or something. So fun. Utah, you just got a cold freeze and fire warning? Really? That just seems like an oxymoron that you got both of those. Crazy, crazy. All right, so we've done our quilting. I'm just trimming all of those chain stitches. And then I want to trim up some of my other threads as well, because they will end up poking out. Again, it's not that you can't trim them later. Of course you can, but I'm just going to try to trim as best I can right now. Okay, so there's that one. And then we gotta, I didn't trim over my label on the other one. I gotta do that. And again, it's not the end of the world if you don't trim all these guys, so it's just, I guess, a little OCD. Okay. So now we've got, it's so manic. Glad we just planted all our crops. No! Gonna need to sew warm bags for my bigger plants. There you go. Yeah, the weather has been really crazy, hasn't it? I mean, if nobody believes in global warming, I think they're crazy. All right, we're just gonna, again, melt some of our little end stitches there on the label. Again, just so that come undone. Okay. So now we've got, hopefully everybody is following along, because now we're going to move on to our next step. All right. So we're going to start making our little sandwich. So again, we've got, I think I'm actually going to put just a little basting stitch on the open end of my zipper, just to help hold that closed. And yes, I do have a metal zipper, which I know people say you shouldn't go over it with your machine. So don't be surprised if I do end up breaking a needle. It might happen. It has happened. Okay, so at this point too, as I said in the beginning, you may find that you need to trim your lining piece. Okay, so I had already ironed on my clear vinyl fuse to my lining piece. So you put that on the right side of your fabric, which I actually did on the wrong side of my other bag earlier today, but it still looked okay because I thought, you know what? I'm not going to redo it. So it was fine. So again, we're going to want to trim because again, once you do your quilting, it shrinks. It shrinks your piece. So you can see that's how much different it is now. So we're just going to trim it up. And what I did is just kind of lay it down and lined it up on the one side, kind of flattened it out, and then I can see how much I'm going to take off. And I'm not too worried about being super precise. That's fine. Good enough. And then we're going to do the same for the other piece. Okay. So same thing. We're going to line up our fabric, kind of smooth it out, and then slice that end off. Okay. Now we can start building our bag. Okay. That's why I have stocking needles. Indeed. Me too. What did you put under? Under the outer. So I took my lining piece. So this fabric is just a cotton fabric cut to 15 by 10 initially. And then I added vinyl fuse, it's called, to the right side of my lining fabric. And that's what's going to make the inside of my bag waterproof. You don't need to use that vinyl fuse. So if you don't have that today, don't worry about it. You can just use your cotton piece of fabric. So all I did was put that down first, and then I put my exterior piece over it. So that way I could see how much I needed to trim off. Because again, once you quilt your exterior piece, that's going to shrink a little bit. It just makes it smaller, that's all. So again, I just wanted to trim up that lining piece so that it's ready to now put together. So hopefully that works. Julie, I put too much work and money in to lose them all in these freaks. No, honest to God, seriously. Crazy. Okay, so we're going to do our zipper. Oh my gosh, there it is. Okay, and again, I just base stitched the end of my open part of my zipper just to keep it together. So again, I had cut my zipper to 14 inches, so you can kind of see, I mean, if we want to get real fancy, what you can do is actually fold your zipper in half, and we're going to just do a little snip at an angle, okay, on both sides. Here's another little fun tip, I guess. Okay, so now I know where the center of my zipper is, that little V, right? Now I know on here, I made this initial quilting stitch line right in the center. So I know that's the center of my exterior. So I'm just going to line that up with that line. And then I know I am right in the middle. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little clip there. We're going to put a little clip on the end. And a little clip over here. Okay, we're going to take, so you put your zipper face down. I should have said that. Sorry, guys. So face down onto the right side of your exterior, making sure that you're at the top of your exterior fabric. Okay. All right. So then you're going to take your lining fabric and you want it right side down. Okay. Onto the top of your zipper. And again, I always tell folks, if you just hold that in place and then you flip it around, you want to make sure that that's going to be the way that you want it to look. Okay. So that's my checks and balances that I always do, just to ensure that it's going to be in the right spot. So now I'm just going to hold that all together and put those clips on. Okay. And don't worry if you didn't cut it just right. As you can see, I didn't. It's still, that's slightly longer. And that's fine. No big deal. Okay. The biggest thing is as you sew along, you want to make sure that you're keeping the edges lined up together. Okay. So I'm going to switch out to my zipper foot. That's what this little presser foot is. If you don't know, a zipper foot is a nice presser foot to have and to use for zippers in particular, obviously, because it allows you to sew close to the zipper teeth. Now, when you're sewing this on, you want to make sure that you're allowing yourself a 1/2 inch from the end, and that's going to really help you you'll see as we sew a little bit down the road. All right, so just come in maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and have your stitch length set to 2.4. What's the best way to sew the tags so they stay always in the same place? So what I did is I used my quilter's ruler. So I used this. And then what I did is I lined up, because I know it was 7.5 inches wide, or not 7.5, 15 inches wide. Oh, hold on, guys. I got to do this puzzle piece to let them know I'm a real person. There we go. Okay. So I know, again, I had this 15 inches wide, 10 inches high. So I know the center point is going to be 7.5 inches in and 5 inches up. So what I did was I marked my ruler at 5 inches and 7.5 inches. And then I knew that was the center point. Now, because it shrunk, obviously, it's going to be a little bit different now. So, but in the beginning, it was 15 by 10. So I knew 7.5 by 5 was where I needed to put the center of my tag. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, so again, make sure you're starting in 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch-ish. Now, as you're sewing your zipper on, pay attention to where your zipper pull is. Mine is right here. I can feel it, okay? So I'm just going to sew maybe down to about here, and then I'm going to have to move that zipper pull. So again, you're just sewing along where to the edge of your zipper teeth, in maybe 1/8 of an inch from there if you don't have a zipper foot. But that's why, again, a zipper foot is a wonderful presser foot for this application. So now, because I'm getting close to where my zipper pull is, keep the needle of your machine down in your fabric, lift up your presser foot, and then push your zipper to the opposite side of your needle. Okay? Then you're going to lower that presser foot back down, making sure that your edges are still lined up. And we're going to continue on. Okay, so again, I'm just going to be checking as we go. then you're also going to stop, again, about that 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch from the end. So if you need to maybe put a mark there or do something to remind yourself, you want to give yourself that end space, okay? And again, you will see why when we get to that stage, okay? So now we're just going to flip it over. Okay. Now, I'm just going to do the top stitch at this point. You don't have to do it right now, but I like to do it as I go. So you're just pulling the lining fabric. So now it's wrong sides together. Okay, wrong side of your exterior to the wrong side of your lining. And I just am going to come in again about that 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and we're going to sew a top stitch line about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance from the edge of your exterior fabric. So top stitch length of 4.0, and I'm going to back stitch in the start and at the stop. But as I go along, what I like to do is just kind of give a little tug of that lining fabric. So I'm just holding it nice and taut, and because mine has that vinyl fuse on it, it doesn't like to go through as easily. So I am just giving it a slight pull. I'm not yanking it, okay? But I am giving it a slight tug just to help feed it through, okay? And then at the end, again, you're going to stop about that 3/4, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch from the end and back stitch. So again, I want to stop just after this line. Okay. So that's what you're left with. Okay. All right. So now we've got the one side done. We're going to put the other side together. So I like to have my exterior fabric face up. I'm going to put what we just did face down. And again, I've got that center notch of my zipper to know to line it up with the center line of my quilting line. So I'm going to just clip right there. And then we're going to get our lining fabric. We're going to put that right side down on top of our zipper. And you're lining up those edges. Clipping it in place. And clipping it all the way to the end. And then just like we did on the other side, you want to make sure that when you're starting to sew, that you start in about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Taking off those clips. Again, starting in about 1/2 inch, but we want your stitch length back down to your 2.4. And then we're just going to back stitch and continue your sewing. And again, this is where you want to pay attention to where your zipper pull is. Mine is way down here now, so I've got a ways to go before I need to move it out of my way. There it is. So I'm just going to reach underneath, keep my needle down, lift up my presser foot, get that on the opposite side, and then make sure that that raw edge is all matched up to the edge of both exterior fabrics. And again, you want to stop about that 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch from the end. Okay. And then, again, you're going to flip that lining piece. Flip it out. Because now we've got to do our top stitch. Oh, and my basting stitch came undone. Oh well. Okay. So again, I just give a little tug to that lining piece. And again, we're going to change our stitch length to a top stitch, 4.0. We're going to start in from the end, about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And again, that vinyl, it doesn't like to slide easily on those feed dogs, but with a little bit of encouragement, it does just fine. Okay. So just go down a little ways, and then again, just kind of give that a little tug and make sure that everything is nice and tight underneath. And then again, at the end, you're going to want to stop about 3/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch from the end. Okay. I just see a couple little threads. And again, that's from the quilting, and that's why, like I said before, you want to try to trim as many as you can, but it's not the end of the world if you don't get them all. All right, so we're just going to get some of those other ones trimmed up too. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to put our exterior pieces right sides together. Maybe we'll put a little clip on there too, right in the middle. And line up your fabrics, not your flex foam. So you can see, like on mine, my flex foam is slightly over the edge. That doesn't matter. What matters is the fabric. So I want my fabric edges to line up. And then we're going to sew across the bottom. Oh, let me switch out my presser foot back to my other one. And we're going to use about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And you're going to go from one end to the other, back stitching at the start and the stop with a 2.4 stitch length. And then you're going to line up your lining pieces as well. And then for the bottom of this, for the lining, you do want to leave an opening. A pretty good size opening, actually, because this is what you're going to be turning it right side out through. So you're going to go starting at the end, go in a few inches, back stitch, cut your thread, and then we're going to start up again. Actually, maybe we'll go a little bit further than that. Okay. And then we're going to start up again down here, leaving that gap to turn this right side out. Okay. So this is what you have so far. Sally B, hi. Hi, Mom. I have what? You have what, Mom? Okay. So now, this is where you're going to start making it look like a bag. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that lining, and then, so here was the bottom. I'm opening it up, and I'm getting it so that that bottom seam is lined up with the center of my zipper. Okay, and I'm going to open up that seam, and I'm going to, you've messed up. Are you sewing? You don't have a machine. I'm doing the same on the other side, so lining up the center of my seam with the center of my zipper. Lisa, you've messed up too? Okay. And then we're going to do the same with the exterior. So again, we're going to kind of press that open, just not press it, we're just opening it up. We're going to open up our seam. But this is why it was important to leave that 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch gap, because you're going to end up sewing across, you're going to do the lining and you're going to do the exterior separately. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So I'm just, again, I'm going to cut that thread. Okay. All right, so what's actually going to happen, guys, is you're not going to be able to line up your lining piece, your seam, to the center of your, well, you can line it up to the center of your zipper, but your two lining pieces are not going to come together. So hopefully that makes... Have you tried leaving the foam out of the seam allowance? I have not, and I think the main reason for that, though, because I like how it goes all the way to the edge. I like the bulk that it gives, but that's probably a personal preference. So absolutely, you could try doing that. So again, you're taking this middle seam of your lining fabric and just lining it up with the center of your zipper, okay? We're going to clip that together too. Just your lining pieces, okay? So again, I want to get it as centered as I can between my end pieces here of my lining. So hopefully that makes sense. Can you guys see that? Does that make sense? And we'll clip the other side too. Okay. Okay, good. All right, so we'll sew down our lining pieces first. So now you've basically just got this, I don't know what I'd call this, kind of a sandwich maybe? All right, so you've got your lining clipped. I've got my exterior clipped on both short ends, okay? didn't clip this very well. So let's do that. So essentially you're getting your zipper, the ends of your zipper to be centered on your lining, if that makes sense. Sorry guys, it's hard to explain and do at the same time. There we go. Because then this is going to fold away. Okay, so hopefully now I can give you this view. Hold on. Let me just get that in place. Okay, so again, this is why we folded it out. Okay. Can everybody see? So we're just going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, 2.4 stitch length. You're going to back stitch at the start and then at the stop. Ooh. We've got to fold away our exterior pieces to give us some room to sew. And then I'm just going to go kind of a couple of times over my zipper. This is when we pray to the sewing machine gods that I don't break my needle. Excellent. Okay, and then we're just going to continue on. 1/4 inch seam allowance, back stitch at the end. Okay, we're going to repeat on the other side with the lining. Folding back our exterior. Back stitch. And again, this is why it was so important to leave that end with that gap so that you would have the space to be able to sew the lining separate from the exterior. And again, just go over that zipper a couple of times to really just secure it. Yes, pulling one layer back and sewing individually. Absolutely. Okay, so once you've got that, then we're going to do the same thing, but for the exterior fabric. So for the lining, that you can clip it back. The exterior with the flex foam is a bit too thick to be able to fold it back, but this you should be able to clip back to keep out of your way. Okay, 1/4 inch seam allowance. Again, your shorter stitch length, 2.4. And just holding that zipper back, and there is a slight gap there. But I'm gonna back stitch over that. And my presser foot is getting caught a little bit on that zipper just because of the bulk of it. So you just have to kind of work it over it. Okay. done. This side, we're going to pull back our interior, the lining. Quarter inch on this side as well, seam allowance, back stitch at the start and at the stop. And again, I'm just back stitching over where it's bulky, just to really help hold that in place. Now I can see that my fabrics are not the same width underneath here, so I am going to end up going in a little bit more on this other side, just to make sure that I am going to catch all of that fabric. All right, beautiful. So we're just going to double check, make sure that we caught all of that fabric. Looks like we did. So that's good. All right, now we get to make the boxed corners. Okay. Hi, what are we making? We are making this cute boxy bag with a waterproof lining. So cute, right? You know what I forgot to do, I think? Forgot to add my tab that I was going to add. Shoot. Well, I guess it's not too late. So you guys don't have to add this tab. Again, my first one that I made today, I did not add a tab. I just thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I put a tab on it? And I forgot. Tell me about your machine. Ooh, I love my machine. I could talk about my machine all day. My machine is a Juki DX2000 QVP. It is considered a computerized machine. It has a gajillion fancy stitches. She's a workhorse. She's great for quilting. And I find she does great for making bags. So yeah, love, love, love my machine. How do I want to do this? You know what? Maybe we're going to skip the tab since we didn't do it. Forget it. We won't do a tab. Okay, so we got to do the boxed corners. So what are we going to do? How are we going to do that? Now, your boxed corners, you can make any size you want. I did, for my squares that I'm going to cut out, 1 3/4 inch square. But then for the lining, I did 1 7/8 inches because I like my lining to be a little bit smaller than my bag, just because otherwise it gets too bulky in there. So for, like I said, for my lining, now you're going to measure from your seam allowance on the side, but to the fold on the bottom. So again, for the lining, I'm doing 1 7/8 inches from the seam and then 1 7/8 inches from the bottom. And again, you can do 2 inches, you could do 1.5 inches. It will change the look of your bag slightly. So just keep that in mind. So I'm just using a disappearing ink marker, just marking my corners, my boxed corners. Again, doing 1 7/8 inches from the seam and from the fold. 1 7/8 inches. So I'm just marking it with the pen and then I'll just cut it with my scissors. Mom, you're watching the Red Sox, huh? Go Sox. All right, so 1 7/8 inches. And then 1 7/8. Okay, so we'll cut all of those. Love the socks, yes. All right, so we're just gonna cut all of these little, well, I guess they're technically rectangles now, but they turn into squares. And then we're gonna end up doing pretty much the same thing on the exterior fabric. But that we're going to use 1 3/4 instead of 1 7/8. So I'm going to flip it over, and then we're going to mark 1 3/4, again using our edge seam allowance as our guide for the 1 3/4, and then the fold for the other side. Do you have a pattern? So I do not. That is on my list of things I want to start doing. But everyone has requested that this get posted to my YouTube channel. So eventually, hopefully by tomorrow at the latest, I will get this up. So you will be able to at least go back and watch this. You might have to fast forward because it'll be kind of boring to watch all of it, but at least it'll be there for you to reference. And I did put the materials list in a video earlier today. So if you just go in my profile and look back a couple of videos, you will see that posted so you know exactly what you need. So hopefully that will help. All right, so again, we're going to end up just cutting out those, making sure that I'm not clipping anything else that I shouldn't be. Yeah, I definitely learned that, doing these live tutorial videos is helpful for a lot of people because, it's one thing just to watch a YouTube video to learn how to do something, but as you're sewing, obviously you might have questions or you might run into an issue or you're just wanting to know about something else or the why of something. That you can't do in a YouTube video, right? But that's what's nice about these. So I've actually been considering creating like sewing kits to have available for, these tutorials because I think, like some people have said, I don't have all the materials, to make these. So if you have it in a kit, though, that might be the way to go. So I don't know. Tell me what you think about that idea. I don't know. I feel like it's a good idea. That would be awesome. Yes, I think so. B, you have a great Sunday as well. Missy, you're learning so much. Good. So the interfacing for the exterior pieces is a flex foam. It's a one-sided fusible flex foam. Wait until I get my 37 bins. Michelle, you do love the kit idea. Oh, that's awesome. I think you have enough flex foam to do that. I don't know. We might. You get a lot. You get a lot. Yeah, I think I would. How are you going live? Are you using a camera on your forehead? No, let me flip it around. I've got this. How are you going live? Are you using a camera on your forehead? No, let me flip it around. I've got this neck mount. I think that'll show you. There you go. Yeah, so that's just a neck mount. So I just wear it around my neck and, yeah, oh my gosh, absolutely. And I absolutely try to respond to all the comments. Definitely it's something I strive for. Okay, so again, we are going to use the one handle that we had made, right? So you want to find where your zipper is, and you want to put it towards, at least in my opinion. So again, let's look at the one that we've created. In my opinion, I feel like it should go on the end that the zipper closes on, because if I'm carrying this, I don't want my open zipper, if I didn't close it all the way, to be down there, because things will fall down, right? So, yeah, that's a great question, Shalene. So where is everybody shopping, right? So there is one place online that I've been hearing a lot about, that I have looked at but not ordered from yet, and that is Wawak, Wawak. They have so many sewing supplies. So that's one place. So Keisha, if you go to my profile, in my link tree, click on the link tree that's there. And then on that page, you will see all of my other socials. So, oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a cute bag. I love it. Love, love, love. But it is Crafting Therapy Shop, but for some reason people can't find it just when they're searching that. So I don't know. That's why I say just go to my profile and the link tree, and you'll find it in there. So, okay, so yeah. So on the end that your zipper is closing, so that's what I'm checking. On the inside, I can see where my zipper is. It's partially open, so I know that the closed end is going to be on this side. So what you want to do is you're going to take your exterior fabric. We're going to open up those edges, kind of like a fish mouth. I always call that the fish mouth, right? And we want to put our handle inside of there. But you want to make sure that you're positioning it correctly, right? Because I want it so that that twill tape side is facing out. So I have to do my own little assessment here. So if I put it in like this, and then when we turn it right side out, again, I have to do my thinking here, so bear with me. See, this is what happens. I want the twill side facing out, so I want the underside facing the right side of my fabric, right? Because that's how it is out here. I want that, I'll call it the underside, is the clear vinyl you used on your Amazon store. You know what? I'm not sure if I put that on there. I'm not sure. I can add it. The only thing I've seen is the Instagram and your shop link. The foamy stuff on the inside is Pellon Flex Foam, one-sided fusible flex foam. So Keisha, let me see if I can go in here. I'll come back into this. Let's see if I can. So if you go on here and then you click on my link tree, so that's what this beacons.ai crafting therapy shop is. So that brings up all of my my links. So that's what you need to click on. And then my YouTube channel is right here. Okay. So hopefully that helped. All right. So back to our handle. So you want to center it on your seam. Okay. And then we're going to end up sewing that one side in place. So I'm not going to clip it. Oh, yeah. No, there you go. All right, so I'm just going to bring it to my machine, hold that in place, and then with my 2.4 stitch length, back stitch at the start, and I'm just making sure that everything is still lined up because I want that to be right in the center and lined up along the raw edge, okay? And sometimes I like to use my tweezers just to shift it just that little bit. Okay. I'm going to try to keep that seam open if I can. And keeping those raw edges lined up. And then I'm just going to go over that strap, back stitch a couple of times, because again, if that's what people are going to be using to hold on to their bag, I want it to hold in place well. Okay, so now on the other side, that's where you're going to end up attaching the other end of your strap. Okay. So again, we're going to line up, keeping our lining out of the way, line up our center of our strap in the center of our seam. And I'm just going to hold it. And then bring it right over. And then again, just kind of shimmy it right where you want it to go, but just make sure you're not sewing over your lining. Back stitch over that strap. Don't sew over your finger. All right. So then you've got that strap now sewn in place. So we'll go over to the other side of our exterior. And now it'll be easier because nothing is being put in there. We're going to open up our seam there. Right edge to edge. Back stitch over your seam. Back stitch at the end. And then we're going to do the other exterior side. Okay, open up that seam. Ooh. Again, just back stitching over the seam. Okay, so now the exterior is done. So now we've got to just sew up the boxed corners of our lining, and it's essentially the same idea. You're just going to open up. Because mine has the vinyl wants to stick together. So it's take a little bit extra wrestling. And you do have to kind of just push your other exterior out of the way to get it to sit right. Okay, so now what I'm going to do for this seam, I'm not going to open the seam. I'm going to just push it to one side based on how it's positioned on the other end. So I'm just going to keep it folded over. Okay. Back stitch. And let's get this straightened out. And it is kind of like wrestling an alligator a bit, so that's normal. I found your YouTube. It helps to put your name and then crafting there. Oh, okay. Oh, it brought up the cat bed. Okay, excellent. Glad you found it. So yeah, right now, I mean, I don't know. There's maybe like 7 or 8 videos up. I am going to be trying to add more. But they take so much time to do, so it's a challenge for me, that's for sure. I guess part of it is I'm a perfectionist, so if I wasn't such a perfectionist, I could just slap them up there, but oh well, that's all right. And again, I just want people to be able to reference it and go there to learn, so... do the other side. So it's, you know, kind of interesting to me when I started making these, you know, it's, you think about how much people charge for these bags, right? Well, you can see how detail-oriented they are to make and time-consuming, right? I mean, I've been live for an hour and a half, and I had pre-cut all of my things, so, you know, that time isn't even factored in. But it's, yeah, it's a labor of love, and you know, if you're at a craft fair and you see somebody selling these, know that they put their heart and soul into it. Can you upload and post all your lives on your YouTube? Oh my. That is a big ask. I will say probably not all of them, just because, again, it takes me a hot second to do that. But the ones that are more popular, I am trying to put up there when there is more interest. So I'm trying to do like more short videos too. So, you know, if there's things that you want to know how to sew and you feel like that could make a good video, send me a message. Because I am happy to do them, you know, in a short form if possible. But to download, just to download these lives that are like 2 hours long, just downloading in and of itself takes like a half hour at minimum. So it is crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, guys. So I think we are ready to turn this right side out. I mean, you can trim all of your threads if you want. I'm not going to for the sake of time. Yes, the tab. So the tab I would add to just the one side because, again, you know, Julie, the thinking of behind having that tab is I don't feel like you need it when you're opening it, but I feel like when you go to close, I feel like you just should have something to hold right here on the bag because otherwise I feel like I have to just grab it and pinch it. So I just think having that tab just on the one end would be plenty. I would watch it to learn and follow along later. Oh, we will see. We'll see. Again, it's a lot, especially for me. I have a full-time job too, and you know, trying to do this and teach people and do all of that, especially when I'm not compensated. That is a lot. So, you know, obviously I would love to be a full-time content creator and, you know, make lots of money like you see all these videos of people that are, you know, making, gosh, 5 figures a month. Like, what? I don't know. Okay, so we're just turning our bag right side out, which is so fun. As everybody knows, I call it birthing the bag. So I'm just pushing out those corners of the exterior. If you didn't have to edit, yes, exactly. I know this fabric actually, ironically, was a clearanced fabric. I was like, are you kidding me? Why is it clearanced? At a quilting shop is where I got it. So I feel like it's a nice neutral. It could be for a male or female. But yeah, I loved it. So for the inside, for the lining, we still have to close up our opening, right? But you also want to make sure that you're pushing out those corners too before you close it up. So again, you're just going to push out all of those corners because again, once you close it up, you're not going to be able to have access. So you do want to push that all out. Okay. And then for the opening, I'm just going to do a little fold and a finger press. Okay. And again, with the vinyl, it's a little bit different, a little trickier, but not impossible. And Now we're going to just take it to the machine, and then we just need to make sure that we sew it entirely shut. So you just need to pay attention to, like I need to go from here all the way down to this end. Okay, and we're going to sew at about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. So pretty close to the edge. And again, the vinyl does not like to go through, to slide through very easily. So you may need to kind of push it, not push it, give a little push, give it a little nudge. You're going to back stitch at the start. And again, we're going right close to the edge. So you just need to make sure that those edges are lined up together so that you catch both pieces. And I'm just making sure that I'm not going to sew over a part of it that I don't want sewn. So again, just make sure that you've got it all lined up. And then we're going to backstitch. And we'll clip off our little threads. And then you get to push that all in. Now, I have seen other people like stuff their bag. You know, you can use scrap fabric or whatever. Stuff your bag, and then you can kind of iron the outside of it, which I think is a good idea. Because no doubt when you do turn it right side out, it does tend to get a bit wrinkled. So you can do that, but you cannot iron the vinyl directly for obvious reasons. You don't want it to melt. But there you have it. So I'm just going to kind of finger press all of our seams. And then again. And of course, if you see any, loose threads, you're going to want to obviously snip them. Okay. All right, let me flip around and then we can chat. Your videos are amazingly helpful. My teenager is starting to make bags. She'll definitely love your videos. Awesome. Great bag. Well done. Thank you. So yeah, and again, like I said, these bags, they are obviously, first of all, I think they're awesome. They're functional. They're fashionable, right? And I mean, not impossible to make, right? Again, I know there's people out there that are true beginners. And, there may be a few techniques on here that were a bit of a challenge, but I've always said, you just got to dive in. If you're starting your sewing journey, just dive in. You're going to make mistakes. We all do. Saludos desde Costa Rica. Oh, hola. I love the strap idea. Me too. And again, I really wish I would have put the tab in, but that's all right. Again, I just feel like it needs a tab on this end. Ooh, thank you, Mom, for the dolphin. But other than that, again, yeah, it's a practical gift idea. Again, nice homemade present that you can give to anybody. And like I said before, even if somebody has a travel bag already, you can give them another one, right? You can use different ones for different trips. So easy enough to make that, and it doesn't take a lot of fabric. So the vinyl, this vinyl that I am using right now, I had gotten from Joann's. I am going to look on Amazon and see if I can find it there, and I will add it into, you're welcome, into my storefront, so you'd be able to find it there. But yeah, it is, let me just show you. So this is so again, it's a Pellon vinyl fuse gloss. That's the not the English version. Here's the English version. So vinyl fuse gloss, and again, it has a paper backing on it. So today it was impossible to make my zipper ripped when I was trying to. Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa. That's all right. Actually, you'll be able to trim it down and just make a smaller bag. So no harm, no foul. Just trim down everything and make it work. But it is, it is trial and error, and there's going to be projects that you make that go really smooth, and there's going to be some that you screw up. So no big deal. That's the beauty of obviously sewing. Yay, D-Boss is back. So we finished our other bag. She's so pretty. And I will download this one, and I will put it up on OMG, I love it. I know, right? It is a beauty. But yeah, I will put it up on my YouTube channel, and just watch for a video. I will post when I do get it up. Everything you make comes up. Tara, you haven't seen all of my mistakes. There have been many. In fact, I just threw away some. And I think part of it too is I am trying to essentially create some patterns of my own. Because again, I feel like, I do love the idea of a pre-made kit and doing almost like a private tutorial video. Oh, the ice cream cone. Thank you, Carla. Because I do feel like, oh, thanks for the rose. I do feel like if I can provide people with exactly what they need, it would be a lot easier, because so often I do have people that say, I don't have all of those materials. I don't have the flex foam. I don't have, the Pellon 109. And sometimes you don't want to buy a whole bunch of something because you don't know if you're ever going to use it again, right? So, but I feel like that would be a good way for people to, I don't know, test it out, try things. But again, it's just been an idea I've been toying with in my head. And again, I don't even know if people would be willing to buy something like that. So everyone needs an ice cream. Oh, you got that right. And I make ice cream cozies. I don't know, Carla, if you've ever done that. We've done that in our lives before too. So, an ice cream cozy. Let me see if I can find one to show you. Essentially, it fits a pint of ice cream. I guess I've got all mine put away right now. This was the first live I've watched of yours. Oh my goodness. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, the ice cream cozies are really awesome. I love mine. It's just, picture a bowl cozy, but so bowl cozy, right? Just that fits an ice cream pint, right? I also use it for my nacho cheese. A week's notice so we could run out and get supplies would be helpful. I agree. I definitely agree. I tend to do these kind of last minute. So I never know what I'm exactly going to make until like the last minute. So that's my problem. So I would have to, I don't know, plan ahead, I guess, better. Oh, thank you for the heart. But yeah, definitely. I do like that idea. But again, we've kind of developed this little community too. And it's just nice to be able to sew along with other people. So anyway, so today is Sunday. I know this week again, I'm going out of town again on Thursday to celebrate my younger daughter getting her teaching certifications. Oh yeah, the tutorial lives, they are fun. Again, the interactive piece is the great part about it, right? So Yeah, yes, thank you. Yeah, she's certified to teach biology and chemistry, so high school level. And she's already got a job lined up for the fall, which is pretty awesome. So we're super excited for her, and super proud, of course. And so, yeah, we will be out of town. Thank you. I know, right? Tapping the hearts. I appreciate that. I know they are killing it. So I don't know. I probably will do another one. I don't know, like next Saturday maybe. But I think this afternoon thing worked out pretty well, but I don't know. What do you guys all think? Should we do like a Saturday afternoon? Oh, Rosemary, thank you. Or do the Sunday afternoon again? I don't know. Let me know. I know, right? Sewing some cute things for her classroom. Yes, definitely. Okay, so D-Boss, you do like the afternoon. Okay. Yeah, and again, I just thought we would try that today and see how that goes for people. It is good to mix it up, absolutely. Because actually the other fun thing too is to know that there are people across the globe that tune in. I've had people from Switzerland and Australia, and you let us know. Perfect. I will let you know. Saturday afternoon. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably plan to do the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, but I will, you sent me a message. Perfect. I will look at that. And look for a video from me. Like I said, I do try to post, when I'm going to go live. And again, if anybody has ideas of what they want to work on together, just send me a message. So I don't know if D-Boss, that's what you sent me, but I will go look. So, I've got ideas in my head of different things I want to do just for myself. Like I've said, and I haven't yet, I want to make a cover for my sewing machine for my beautiful Juki. And I want to make it so that it accommodates my sewing stand, because it kind of juts out and I don't want to have to unscrew it every time. So I want to make it so it will, fit that. And none of the patterns I see have that. So again, I want to do that, but I don't know if that's something that people would want to see on a live, because not everyone's machine is like mine. So my sewing room, thank you. I'll give you the grand tour. So there's my thread wall. And then around here, there's my sewing and embroidery machine with all of my stabilizers for that. Then I've got my huge thing of flex foam there. That I just didn't have a space for. Got some vinyl over there, stencil vinyl. That's all of my, cotton canvas, and flannels up there. That's my woodworking station. And then I've got 3 containers of my fabrics that, again, I don't have room for everything because I just bought more. That's what all of these are. This was the video that I posted yesterday. Just beautiful fabrics. I'm so excited. There's actually where I work from home, and then my printers, and oh look, even more fabric there. Other crafty stuff. This is my ribbon area. And then all of my boxes, and then this was from a craft show I did a couple weeks ago. So you would love to get a kit with my fabric? Oh, yay. Thank you guys. Yes, I do. I love my little craft room. But yeah, I do think that is going to be something that I am going to start doing, and just see if it's something of interest for folks. So, thank you, Carla. So yeah, that's my life right now. But yeah, so watch for another video for when we'll go live again. Oh, you do have a video of your sewing room. Awesome. I will have to check that out. And again, it'll probably be Saturday, maybe Sunday. We'll see. I don't know what's going on in my life for next week, and I barely know what I'm doing tomorrow. So, but I'm glad everybody enjoyed this one. And again, I will download this video and post it to my YouTube channel and just watch for the video on here for when it's up and live. So thanks for all the follows, all the likes, all the love. And again, I hope you guys find a lot of joy in your week this week. I'll see you soon.